Good afternoon to one and all present. We now commence with the technical session number 1 of the roundtable on exporting skilled healthcare workforce from India to overseas for meeting global skill shortages, comprising of speakers, employers, and training agencies from Australia, Japan, and Singapore. The guest speakers for the technical session will be Dr. Sandeep Singh Kaura, Advisor to Government of Punjab, Skill Development and Technical Education, Professor Chandan Chaudhary, Senior Associate Dean, Indian School of Business, Ms. Ritu Agarwal, Country Head, Japan, Russia, and Southeast Asia, National Skill Development Corporation, Mr. Roshan Paul, Director, Trade and Investment, South Asia, Australian Trade and Investment Commission, Austrade, Mr. Tony Brennan, Founder and CEO, Telesium Sydney, Australia, Ms. Christine Russell, Founder, Managing Director, Guest Education, Australia, Ms. Susan Dorothy, Director, Marketing and Recruitment, Guest Education, Australia, Ms. Tonya Scadron, Trainer and Assessor, Work Placement Officer, Guest Education, Australia, Mr. Lance Thomas Stone, CEO, Fraser Coast, TESS, Australia, Mr. Philippe Fang, International Business Director, NIET Group, Australia, Mr. Tae Wee Sun, Deputy Director, Health Science, ITE, Singapore, Harsh Chamaria, Brand Ambassador, MNIMS. Now, I would like to call Mr. Dr. Sandeep Singh Kaura, Advisor to Government of Punjab, Skill Development and Technical Education.
Yeah. Esteemed speakers in the technical session 1, Professor Chandan Chaudhary, my dear students, first of all, a very warm good afternoon to one and all present here. We had a wonderful inaugural session in the morning where regarding this roundtable, which is on exporting skilled healthcare workforce from India to overseas for meeting global skill shortages. This is one of the topic which is very important for our country, and this is first of its kind initiative where all the stakeholders are on board. When I say all stakeholder, it means the government of India is there, government of states of Punjab, the officials are there. We have international training partners. We have international training certification agencies, employers, even officials of the high commissions and embassies of the foreign countries. And the most important is the faculty and the principal directors of the healthcare institutions located in India, and the students, who are the important part of this entire initiative. So this is first of its kind roundtable, which is being organized by LAMRIN Tech Skill University, Punjab, Indian School of Business, under the aegis of the government of Punjab. So the focus here is to evolve a model wherein we may skill people here in the state, in India, and we may, supply them, or we may, deploy them in the foreign countries. When I say skill people here in India, means young workforce, the students who are here with us today. So very important aspect. Now, India, if we look at, we are a large family. When I say large family, I mean our population is very large. We are 1.26 billion people, and the young population, working age population, 15 to 59 years, is going to grow from 63% to 68% by 2030. So that shows the number of young people in India are going to be very large. And this is a time when we all need to work on it. We need to skill this young workforce, not only to meet our own requirement, but also to meet the requirement of the foreign country. So that's the gist for this entire initiative. And since students are there and international training partners are there, so this technical session 1 is now being started. This is prior to this, there was an inaugural session which was chaired by Honorable Chief Minister of Punjab, Sardar Charanjit Singh Channi. He gave his remarks in the inaugural session, and it was attended by the High Commission, officers of High Commissions from 6 major countries, the High Commission and foreign countries, mainly the Germany, Singapore, Australia, Canada, Japan, and for that matter, the country like United Kingdom, UK. So the 6 country officials were there, and we had a deliberations around it in the inaugural session. Wonderful session, which was moderated by Professor Chandan Chaudhary. So this technical session, we have speakers from Australia, from Singapore, and from Japan. And as has already been highlighted, their introduction have been given. So I, on the behalf of Government of Punjab, as advisor to Government of Punjab, welcome all the esteemed speakers to this session. And we look forward for their valuable inputs, that how we should skill the young workforce in Punjab, how we can shake hand, we can shake hand to skill the young workforce back home in India and in our state. And let's evolve a model around it, which is win-win for both country of origin, which is India, and country of destination. Because the most important point, I think Professor Chandan Chaudhary will also highlight, particularly for Punjab, we have young people, they aspire to go abroad. What we want is that we want them to be skilled here so that they can be valuable for the country of destination. They need not to spend there while they go there. Let them get all the skills while back in India itself. So that's the main thought process. So I would request the students here to share their views in the chat box, raise hand, interact with the dignitaries. This is not, very easy to bring such a esteemed guest here in these forums. But today, virtual world, or this COVID-19 has given us this good thing. I would say, we all are now adapting virtual kind of a meeting, and today we are able to be, discuss all these matters, together with the international experts. So ask the questions, write in the chat box, and so that we may get your input. Because without student, I've seen these roundtable happening, with the closed doors, with the top official discussing, but discussing for whom? Discussing for the young people of the country. Now, this is first time that youth is also here, students are here, faculty is here. So all stakeholder put together, let's work on a model wherein let's skill people here in the state, in India, and map the requirement with the foreign countries, what they require, accordingly we do everything here, so that our youth can go to foreign countries with the required skill set. So that's the thought process. I again welcome all the esteemed speakers for this technical session 1. And I also welcome Professor Chandan Chaudhary, a very senior professor, a known name in the education field. And he's the one who always there to, get something new for the young people of our nation. So we welcome Dr. Chandan Chaudhary. So let me now request Dr. Chandan Chaudhary to take it forward and start the session, where, Dr. Sir, we have students participating, close to about 400 have already joined, and many of them are joining now. So we are expecting close to about 800 students to attend this session. So we got about 800 registrations. We are already 50%, and we are getting every minute 10 to 11 register people joining the link. So sir, over to you. We have young people attending the session, students are there, and we have international speakers. So let's create a platform where both of them can shake hand, they can interact and discuss the most important aspect of skilling them here in India, for overseas employment. And I would request students, language is not a problem. You may speak in any language. If there is any thing to be required, translation is required, we will do it, or put it in the chat box. But share your views. Don't hesitate from sharing the views if there is any language barriers. So over to you, Professor Chandan Chaudhary, for your taking the session forward. Thank you. So you are on mute. You are on mute.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you now.
Yeah. So I just thought, first of all, a few housekeeping, aspects. So those who will speak would unmute, and I think it's going to be a very, very exciting session. We want it to be interactive. In fact, I was speaking to Dr. Sandeep on what should be our approach, right? So he was telling me that maybe you can spend a few minutes doing a recap of the topic, but then we should run a poll, right? Maybe just a set of 5 questions. And there we want students to participate, assuming we want to create great learner experience for those who want to serve the healthcare industry. See, if that's what is our objective, then it is very important that we listen to the voice of the students. So we have created a short poll that we propose to run. But before that, let me share the context, a bit of recap of what we have discussed. Now, one of the things that we have discussed during the inaugural session was that healthcare sector is a sector where workforce are literally global citizens. Today, if you look at the study done by WHO, the study shows 1 out of every 8 healthcare workforce, we find 1 of them was born or trained in a country other than one which they're currently practicing. What does it mean? It means maybe somebody is studying in Australia and after that serving India, or maybe serving Canada, or somebody who got trained in UK is actually working not in UK, but in Japan. And maybe the nationality is Indian or a Filipino or somebody from Pakistan, Bangladesh, or a Eastern European country. So this is very interesting statistics. This is very interesting statistics. Our session 1, the focus, if you look at the countries, evening we're going to have a session on Canada. You would find that after pandemic, Canada, United States, United Kingdom, they have set a very aggressive strategy to ramp up healthcare workforce. And they're trying to partner with countries of origin in creating skilled workforce who could serve the country of destination and also the country of origin. So this is something which is some of the interesting phenomenon. So on the call today, we have got potential employers, we have got training agencies, we have got certification bodies. And then we have the participants, you also have the students. So what I was planning to do, students who are connected, right? If you have a smartphone, pick up the phone, right? Or your laptop or your iPad, pick up your phone, and we want you to get into www.menti.com. So we want you to type out the browser www.menti.com. Once you have done it, the system will ask for a code and you have to punch in the code. Now, we have some very interesting questions and we have experts connected on the call, right? Experts who can guide you. But before that, we want to capture your thoughts. You have to punch in this pin code 3892269. Now, I want you to raise your hand, the students, if you can, on the box, go and raise your hand. That is done. Can you, is anybody done? How many of you? I can see one person has already got connected, right? Somebody who is doing pharmacy. So today is International Women's Day. I don't know the person who is connected is a lady or a guy, but this is a special day. I want to congratulate all women of the world and everybody, those who believe on gender diversity. I think healthcare workforce, women in many parts of the world are doing fantastic work, right? But still there are prejudices. If you look at in India, there are certain states where majority of the nursing professionals are women. At the same time, you have got states in India where maybe around 8% are women, all are male. So I think on 8th of March, International Women's Day, we need to pledge that we want to create gender diversity in the healthcare workforce. Now, we only have 4 people who got connected. Dr. Sandeep, how do you motivate the students? You mentioned we have got hundreds of students connected.
Yeah, actually, most of them are asking for language that we should speak in Hindi or in Punjabi. Some of them, they are not able to understand.
Okay,
so if I can,
please, if you could,
I will just take 1 minute to give them a context in Punjabi or in Hindi. So students, the jo ek point aa raha hai ke Punjabi de vich ja Hindi, because speakers jehde ne wo mostly jo ne they are from foreign countries to ne ਤੇ ਬਟ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕੰਟੈਕਸਟ ਦੱਸ ਦੇਣਾ ਮੇਨ ਪੁਆਇੰਟ ਇੱਥੇ ਕੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਬਾਹਰ ਜਾਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਬੱਚੇ ਬਾਹਰ ਜਾ ਹੁਣ ਵੀ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਪਰ ਉਹ ਕੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਇੱਕ ਨਵੀਂ ਸਟੱਡੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਸਟੱਡੀ ਕਰਨ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਤੇ ਇੱਥੋਂ ਜਾਣ ਲਈ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਐਡਮਿਸ਼ਨ ਲੈਣੀ ਪੈਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਆਸਟ੍ਰੇਲੀਆ ਕਾਲਜਿਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੇਰੇਵਰ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਉਹ ਜਾਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਪਰ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਉਹ ਸਟੱਡੀ ਕਰਨ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਉੱਥੇ ਵਰਕ ਪਰਮਿਟ ਮਿਲਦਾ ਹੈ ਪਰ ਵਰਕ ਵੀ ਲੱਭਣਾ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਹੈ ऐसा मॉडल ਅਸੀਂ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਬਾਹਰ ਜਾਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ ਇੱਥੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਟ੍ਰੇਨਿੰਗ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮਸ ਰਨ ਕਰੀਏ ਸਕਿੱਲ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਫੋਰਨ ਕੰਟਰੀਜ਼ ਨਾਲ ਮਿਲ ਕੇ ਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਇਨਫਰਾਸਟ੍ਰਕਚਰ ਵੀ ਆਵੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਫੈਕਲਟੀ ਵੀ ਆਵੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਔਰ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਤਿਆਰ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਏ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਹਿਸਾਬ ਨਾਲ ਬਿਕੋਜ਼ ਉਹ ਕੰਟਰੀਆਂ ਹਰ ਕੰਟਰੀ ਦਾ ਜੋ ਰਿਕੁਆਇਰਮੈਂਟ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਡਿਫਰੈਂਟ ਹੈ ਜਾਪਾਨ ਦੀ ਡਿਫਰੈਂਟ ਹੈ ਆਸਟ੍ਰੇਲੀਆ 'ਚ ਡਿਫਰੈਂਟ ਰਿਕੁਆਇਰਮੈਂਟ ਹੈ ਐਂਡ ਅਦਰ ਕੰਟਰੀਜ਼ ਡਿਫਰੈਂਟ ਹੈ ਆਪਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਰਿਕੁਆਇਰਮੈਂਟ ਨੂੰ ਸਮਝੀਏ ਔਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਮਿਲ ਕੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਇਨਫਰਾਸਟ੍ਰਕਚਰ ਤਿਆਰ ਕਰੀਏ ਐਂਡ ਆਪਣੀ ਫੈਕਲਟੀ ਵੀ ਤਿਆਰ ਕਰੀਏ ਪਰ ਇਨ ਦਾ ਮੀਨਵਾਈਲ ਜਦੋਂ ਤੱਕ ਫੈਕਲਟੀ ਤਿਆਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਜੋ ਹੈ ਆਪਣੇ ਜੋ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਆਪ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਫੈਕਲਟੀ ਬੁਲਾ ਕੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਤਿਆਰ ਕਰੀਏ ਔਰ ਬੱਚੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨੇ ਵਰਕ ਪਰਮਿਟ ਜੌਬਸ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਇੱਥੋਂ ਬਾਹਰ ਜਾਣ ਇਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣਾ ਇੱਕ ਖਰਚਾ ਵੀ ਘਟਾਵਾਂਗੇ ਔਰ ਸਾਡੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਅਨਨੈਸੈਸਰੀ ਉੱਥੇ ਟਰਬਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਏਗੀ ਹੁਣੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ 'ਚ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਬੱਚੇ ਗਏ 2100 ਬੱਚਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਆ ਉੱਥੇ 5 ਕਾਲਜਿਸ ਬੰਦ ਹੋ ਗਏ ਔਰ ਉਹ ਬੰਦ ਹੋਣ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ 2100 ਬੱਚੇ ਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ ਮੈਂ ਹੁਣ ਕੀ ਕਰਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਰੋ ਰਹੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਦੇਖੇ ਨੇ ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਕਰੀਏ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਇੰਸਟੀਟਿਊਸ਼ਨ ਨਾਲ ਮਿਲ ਕੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਲੈਵਲ ਤੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਮਿਲਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਆ ਔਰ ਮਿਲ ਕੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਸਿਸਟਮ ਕ੍ਰੀਏਟ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਏ ਬਟ ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜ ਬੜਾ ਇੱਕ ਪੁਆਇੰਟ ਰਹੇਗਾ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇੰਗਲਿਸ਼ ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜ ਤੇ ਫੋਕਸ ਕਰਨਾ ਪਏਗਾ ਜੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਸੋਚੀਏ ਕਿ ਹਿੰਦੀ ਔਰ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜ ਨਾਲ ਬਾਹਰ ਚਲੇ ਜਾਵਾਂਗੇ ਨੌਕਰੀ ਲੈ ਲਾਂਗੇ ਉਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਣਾ ਬਟ ਆਪਾਂ ਉਹਦੇ ਤੇ ਵੀ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜੋ ਵੀ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਪੁੱਛਣੇ ਨੇ ਪੁੱਛੋ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੋ ਵੀ ਕਿਤੇ ਟ੍ਰਾਂਸਲੇਸ਼ਨ ਕਰਨੀ ਹੋਏਗੀ ਮੈਂ ਕਰਾਂਗਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਪੁੱਛ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ ਬਟ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਆਪਣੇ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਲਿਖੋ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਲਿਖੋ ਸੋ ਦੈਟ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗੇ ਕੀ ਹੈ ਔਰ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਬੁਲਾਇਆ ਵੀ ਜਾਏਗਾ ठीक है डॉक्टर साहब मैं एक brief ja context I have given a brief context to the students I understand
so I find only
speaker won't be able to understand ਪਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ context ਕੁਝ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਦਾ requirement ਆ ਰਹੀ ਸੀ ਮੈਂ ਡਾਲ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ sir you may take it forward
okay so the question that we had हमें जो सवाल पूछा था कि what course are you doing right कौन सा कोर्स आप कर रहे हो हमने जो सवाल पूछा था we had actually asked you to type into browser, www.menti.com. System would have asked you for a code, right? And you had to enter the code. You could have participated in the poll. In any case, what we do is we move
Chat
on.
box.
And
Dr. Saab,
yeah.
can you put it in the chat box? What is the website? Actually, they are not able to, some of them. If you can put it in the chat box, the website link, and then code is also there. So bache, they will be able to fill. Hanji.
Okay, I will just do that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. It is there. It is there now. www.menti.com, and there they'll put the code is also there. Code, Navneet, if you can send the code again along with the website, that will be good, sir. So it is good to go.
I'll just say
They'll fill it up.
www.menti.
It is done, sir. It is done. They have already done it, sir.
Okay. And yeah. So fantastic. I can see the numbers going up, right? So just make an attempt. Just make an attempt. Please remember, it's not about just English knowledge, right? If you want to go to Japan, right? English knowledge is fine, but you should have knowledge of in Japanese language. And it's not difficult to learn a language. So don't be scared to try out things which are new. I know for many of you, there's menti.com, maybe just new, doing it for the first time. Try it out. If you do not have a laptop, iPad, doesn't matter. If you have a smartphone, pick up a smartphone. Just type in that, what I wrote, and look at the numbers, right? And for those who are training agencies which are conducting training, those who are organizations in the business of accreditation, those who are professors, you are getting a feel of, what courses right now the students who are connected doing. You can see here on the poll right now, people who have already participated, more than 60 people, half of them are doing pharmacy, right? And then you find some of them are doing medicine, some are doing nursing. I'm sure you must be having many more, right, Dr. Sandeep? I'm sure that will be many more doing nursing. What do you say? Yes, or lab technician courses. I can't believe the people who are connected. Yeah. None of them are doing lab technician courses. But I'm very happy the number of students who already participated have exceeded 70, right? And I request all the students who are connected, right? You have real experts who are going to share their insights, right? They would guide you, but definitely they would like to know. They would like to know your background. They would like to understand, are you a student? If you are a student, are you doing pharmacy? Are you doing nursing? Are you doing medicine, right? Or is it something else? So it means in this one, I did not want to make it a long survey, but you do have large number of people who are doing some courses other than pharmacy, nursing, and medicine, right? Dr. Sandeep, should I go to the next question?
Yes, sir. Yes, please.
Okay. So let me go to the next question, right? By the way, the next question is very interesting, right? The next question is, from where do you want to pursue your career? If you have to pursue your career, do you want to pursue your career in India, or do you want to pursue from abroad? We want to get a feel of that, right? Do you want to pursue your career from India, or is it from abroad, right? And interestingly, you would find that preferences for future healthcare workforce is literally global, right? Sandeep, I'm so happy that you spoke about 3 separate technical sessions focusing on different countries. And you were very particular that we should start with Australia, Japan, and Singapore. And that's what we started today. And you actually see we already have 37 people who participated in the survey, and pretty equal number, right? wanting to do their studies in India, and an equal number, probably a little more, wanting to do studies abroad. We did not ask the question, but I'm sure there are many international organizations which can impart high quality training to create world-class healthcare professionals. And I'm sure many of them willing to come to India and conduct those training, create the skilled workforce, certify them, and create job opportunities for them in India or overseas. Dr. Sandeep, would you like to share your views on that? That if from the country of destination, experts coming to, let's say, country of origin like India, and conducting those world-class training for creating global healthcare workforce. Any comment on this, Dr. Sandeep? While
Absolutely,
students
sir.
participate?
I think this is really good, and that is the model, which we now should focus on, because, as I said, the number of working age population in India, that demographic dividend, young people, is increasing, and it will increase by 2030 or 2040 again. Now, whole world is looking at us. There is an aging population in the countries like Japan or Australia, and for that matter, there are mature migration systems in the country like Canada or Australia, and other country like UK. So and they have aging population, they have declining population. So they are looking at India as source of supply of young workforce, because our youth, our students, they are absolutely adaptable to the new environment. हमारे बच्चे जो हैं, they can go and settle down easily because हमारा diaspora is already there. So very important, these countries should come, invest in the country of origin, along with, they should work together with the Indian institutions or institutions of the country of origin, set up some kind of a robust infrastructure there so that students can be trained, young people can be trained, and they can be supplied. They can take care of the requirement of the country of origin and country of the destination. That's very important, sir. Now, if we don't do it, we will have a wastage of the brain, and other side, they'll be really struggling for the skill shortages.
Right. So my next question, Dr. Sandeep, to the students is, which is their preferred destination? Is it Germany? Is it United Kingdom? Is it Singapore? Is it Australia? Is it Japan? Is it Canada? Is it US? Or is it Gulf countries? And Dr. Sandeep, I'm quite curious about, from the people who are right now connected, their interest in the countries which are participating in this panel discussion. And it also shows that probably, countries like Japan, Singapore, Australia need to create more awareness about the opportunities.
Even sir, Australia is also, if you look at in chat box, Australia is now more and more people are writing Australia, Germany is also one of the choice, but yes, Canada is also there. Because Canada number is more, but Germany and Australia is also a preferred choice. If you can see in the chat box, people are. So I think the training partners now can see, there is a lot of response from these young people for the countries like Australia and Germany. And also, Japan also requires some, like you said, awareness here, So more and more people are opting for Australia, Canada, Germany. Yes.
In fact, Dr. Sandeep, I wanted to mention, though we have speakers from Japan, they will share. I know the kind of opportunities that you have in countries like Japan, Australia, and Singapore. Probably, it's also about mindset of students and their knowledge about opportunities available in these countries for education or for job, right? I find some of them saying UK, Canada, Japan, Australia, Germany. That's what Prem Singh is writing, right? And somebody said that would like to stay in India. So I think I move to the next question, Dr. Sandeep. Are you okay if I go to the next question? I just have another two more.
Maybe, sir, I would
Okay.
request we may take some question in between, and speakers
Yeah.
can also start it, you know.
Yeah.
Speakers are
Anybody? Yeah. So maybe let's
Questions we may
listen
take up
to-
in between. Yeah, you
Yeah.
can put
So
it in.
maybe is Tony Bremen, Tony Brennan, is Tony there on the call? Founder, CEO, Talisium, Sydney, Australia.
Yes, Professor Chaudhary, I'm here.
Would you like to make some comments on, you are seeing some real number, right? It is a sample, but right now you have real 53 people who are participating, right? I'm sure there are many who are there connected, not participating, but it gives you an idea about where does Australia stands right now in this sample. Any insights on what are you doing to create healthcare workforce, let's say in country of destination like India, or maybe creating workforce here to serve some other destinations? Over to you, Tony. Some quick opening comments.
Thank you, Professor Chaudhary. Look, we've been active in India for probably the last 4 to 5 years in training health workers for overseas roles. At Talisium, we are really solely focused on upskilling the global health workforce. So we have probably one of the world's largest collections of online self-paced courses and professional certificates from the world's leading experts in health and medical education. And we also have a career pathway program where we take students who don't necessarily have a degree. We put them through, we've been doing this for the last 4 years in Africa, and we're about to start doing it in India. We put them through a 4-week course, face-to-face course on campus, and then we give them a guaranteed job overseas when they graduate. And so far, we've placed every single one of our students into guaranteed jobs as soon as they've graduated. We've, as I said, for the last probably 4 to 5 years, we've been involved in India. We've trained ambulance officers and paramedics to Australian qualification standards in Kerala. We've run programs, training programs for GVK, EMRI in Hyderabad. And we are about to relaunch a health worker training program in India for jobs in the Gulf countries. And we're also talking to some employers here in Australia who have a demand for at least 300 health workers every month. And we're working with them now to look at a program to start training those health workers, most likely in India, and bringing them to Australia. So the demand is here. The big challenge we have in Australia is largely around the entry requirements, the visas that are applicable to get people into Australia to work. But certainly we have got a growing demand, especially in aged care.
Tony, wonderful. I was just thinking if you type out the synopsis of what you said, I think, you had some very key messages, right? I want to now go to Japan. And I know, Ritu, you are on the call. You are from National Skill Development Corporation. You have been very passionate about what India and Japan can do together. Right now, you can see the real number, Ritu. That's not very promising. You just have 4 people showing interest out of 56. So in terms of percentage, very small. Any insights from you?
Yeah, I think this is a topic where, I can go on speaking. Even one day would be less for me. But, I would like to give some insights and generate the interest of students by giving some facts during my technical presentation. So I will save my thoughts for that.
Yeah. So, Dr. Sandeep, this is the session where you have that, right? Do you have any other session, any other technical session?
Oh, this
Oh,
is
no,
the
this
one.
is
Okay.
this is
This is the one.
Ritu,
Yeah,
this is one is the
Yeah.
main
Okay.
technical session. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
this is the
okay.
one.
I'm so
Yeah,
sorry
yeah.
for the.
And you
And
can
also-
have around 2.5 minutes, Ritu, huh? Some
So we
thoughts,
also
yeah.
have Mr. Harsh from he's also representing the Japan. He's a training partner for Japan. So maybe after
Okay,
Ritu,
so-
he may also
Yeah.
share some.
Correct.
Over to
correct.
Ritu.
So Ritu,
Okay,
over to
great.
you.
Thank you. Sorry, I was told I would have 15 minutes. So I had
Yeah.
prepared some slides, but I will just cut down to two and a
Yeah, I
half
think-
minutes.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
let's see.
Ritu, I may
Yes.
also request because most of students are also, requesting for Hindi.
Oh,
And
acha.
if
Sorry.
you can in
Yeah, yeah.
between, because others won't be able to do it,
हाँ
but
जी.
आप कर सकते हो.
बिल्कुल,
तो
बिल्कुल.
बच्चे they'll be really very happy. Yeah.
So
Definitely.
you want to share some slides? I can
हाँ,
stop
I'm-
sharing, then you can share.
हाँ जी, please, if you can. If
Okay,
you can
just
allow.
a moment. Yeah, yeah.
It's not showing. I think you are still sharing the slides. Yeah, should I try?
Please try now. Please try now.
Just a second. No, I think it's not coming. So no problem. I think there's some issue. I'm not able to share.
Able to.
Times, Ritu, try for uploading. I think we may ask other speaker. By the time she may take, I think it will be good if she can share some slides. I think
Yeah,
we can see.
you see now?
We
Yeah,
can
we can
see now.
see. Yes.
Okay, just a second. Okay, please don't worry about my many slides because I had prepared according to the time, but I'll just cut down as per the time slot that I have. So quickly,
If you could focus on demand,
yes, yeah,
supply,
yeah,
and the process of
yes,
creation. These
Sure.
three blocks. Yeah.
sure. See, okay, so I would not talk about the demand here because, I have already spoken, but just a line for the benefit of all students over here. Japan has 2.53 million care workers by 2025. That's the demand Japan is having. And as I said in my inaugural session, the pandemic has worsened the situation in Japan. And therefore, for the next many years, Japan will have the requirement of care workers, and they are eyeing especially the candidates from India. Now, I would like to tell, what are the ways, through which you can go to Japan. So for care workers, there are two routes, that India and Japan have collaborated through a MOC with each other. India is a late entrant over here with Japan. We entered this agreement in 2018. But now we are progressing, and now since the COVID situation is also improving, so I'm sure that people would go now. The first one is technical intern training program. It is called TITP. What is that? That you as an Indian candidate can go to Japan. I'm sorry, I'm speaking in English. आप जापान में एक ट्रेनी के वैल्यू से जा सकते हैं जापान में. तो आप वहां पे यू विल बी ट्रेन फॉर अ पीरियड ऑफ 3 to 5 years. 3 साल तक आपकी वहां पे ट्रेनिंग होगी. और सबसे अच्छी बात ये है that आपको इंग्लिश नहीं सीखनी है. If English is a problem for some of the students, you don't have to learn. You have to learn only the Japanese language. See, such an easy thing. कई लोग बोलेंगे जापानीज भाषा बहुत ही डिफिकल्ट है. इजी कुछ भी नहीं है दुनिया में. आप अगर रोज 2 घंटा भी पढ़ेंगे, आपको 6-7 महीने में वो लेवल आ जाएगा जिसके अंदर आप जा सकते हैं. ओके, बट प्लीज ज्वाइन a language institute. I'm going to talk about it later. So in TITP, you just have to know the Japanese language. You go there as a healthcare worker, right? The salaries are up to 2 lakh JPY. JPY matlab Japanese yen, जो जापान की currency होती है, which means almost like 1.6 lakhs Indian rupees. Many students from India as healthcare worker have gone to Japan, okay, and I'm going to talk about it. So the second part is specified skill worker, जो cabinet ने last year sign किया है. It was signed last year. Now here you are getting an opportunity to go as a skilled worker instead of a trainee. तो आप TITP में एज अ ट्रेनी जा रहे थे और आपको ट्रेनिंग कंप्लीट करके हिंदुस्तान वापस आना है. But for SSW, you need not come to India. You can stay there for a period of 5 years, and it is your gateway to Japan to get the PR as well. All right. I'll go to the next slide. Japan is the safest country. I'm not spending time here, especially safe for women out there. Japan needs a lot of women healthcare workers. It is totally safe. Okay. Now, TITP shortly, you can enroll, through some specified agencies. जो national skill development empanel करता है, we empanel them. You can learn the Japanese language through them. Okay. And I'm sure that Japan में भी Punjab में भी हमारे reach out है. You please connect to NSDC. We will connect you. Learn the language and you go there. So the task of finding the employment for you in Japan is the responsibility of the specified agency whom NSTC empanels. Okay. What is the benefit that you will get? आपको वहां पे stipend मिल रहा है जो मैंने आपको बताया है 1.5 lakhs to 2.5 lakh JPY in Indian rupees. You can, even if you spend a lavish life there reasonably well, you can send 50,000 Indian rupees every month to your home. All right. You get health insurance, welfare pension, and an opportunity to further आप 5 साल increase कर सकते हैं and you can work as specified skill worker जो scheme last year आई है, right? Now this is just a figure. 220 people have gone to Japan. It's not very high number, but COVID के दौरान Japan was one of the rare countries, which had stopped the flights due to the fear of spreading Omicron. But now Japan has just opened its flights 2 weeks back. Okay. Look at the pictures here. अगर हम left side को छोड़े हमारे माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी, that is the picture he's carrying, of displaying strawberries.
You have
in agriculture.
Ritu, you have around 30 seconds more. Huh?
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
So these are some of the pictures, of the students who are working in Japan. This is the state-of-the-art facility which you will get, if you get an opportunity to work in Japan. About specified skilled workers visa, this is a new scheme that I have already told you. Please connect with NSTC. We will be happy to connect you with the specified agencies who will teach you. My last thing here would be, please focus on learning the Japanese language. If you learn that, you have the opportunity not only just, working as a healthcare worker, you have the opportunity to become interpreter in those companies and earn, lots of handsome salary. Okay, so I don't have time much, so I'll stop my presentation here. But in case you need some guidance, please connect with me or NSTC. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ritu. Thank you. Now, I was just sharing, is Harsh on the line? I know you have been doing some work. Before I moved to Australia, I just thought if Harsh is there, maybe some thoughts from Harsh.
Yes, good afternoon, sir. I'm very much there. Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. I will, without wasting time, I'll just share my thoughts. So Ritu Madam from National Skill Development Corporation, उन्होंने काफी अच्छे से बताया कि जापान में क्या प्रोस्पेक्ट्स हैं और जैसा उन्होंने हाईलाइट किया कि 2.5 मिलियन वर्कर्स हम एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हैं कि जो भारत से स्किल्ड वर्कर्स जा सके. तो ये मैं सारे बच्चों को, सारे विद्यार्थियों को जो अभी हमारे साथ इस कॉल पे जुड़े हुए हैं, उनको मैं ये बताना चाहूंगा कि भारत की छवि जापान में काफी अच्छी है बिकॉज ऑफ आवर एटीट्यूड। हम जितना सेवा भावना रखते हैं, इसके कारण इंडियन स्किल्ड वर्कर्स, इंडियन स्किल्ड केयर गिवर्स की डिमांड वहाँ काफी है। तो वो हमारे लिए एक बहुत बड़ा एरिया है, स्कोप है, पहली बात। दूसरी बात, आप लोगों को ये जानना जरूरी है कि जापान जाने के लिए सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट, जैसा रितु मैडम ने कहा, जापानीज लैंग्वेज जानना बहुत जरूरी है। तो हम चाहे स्किल का कोर्स धीरे धीरे कर रहे हो, एज ए हेल्थ केयर प्रोफेशनल धीरे धीरे कर रहे हो, बट अगर हम जापान जाने की रुचि रखते हैं तो हमें सबसे पहले जापानीज लैंग्वेज एज अ हॉबी डेवलप करनी चाहिए। हम यूट्यूब वीडियो देख के भी सीख सकते हैं, हम फॉर्मल क्लासेस करके भी सीख सकते हैं। तो वो हमारा सबसे पहला कदम होना चाहिए जापान की तरफ बढ़ने के लिए, कि जापानीज लैंग्वेज और जापानीज कल्चर को हम अडॉप्ट कर सके। अगर हम वो कर लिए हैं तो हमने अपना 80% काम, अपनी 80% तैयारी पूरी कर चुके हैं। दूसरी चीज, राज्य सरकारों का काफी ज्यादा रुझान है जापान की तरफ। हमारी मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एक्सटर्नल अफेयर्स ने भी काफी सारे स्टेप्स लिए हैं जिससे कि जापान जाना काफी इजी हो गया है। वहां हम 5 साल काम करके पीआर, जो वहां की परमानेंट रेसिडेंसी होती है, जैसे हम कहते हैं हम भारत सरकार के नागरिक है, वैसे जापानीज नागरिक बनने का भी काफी अच्छा स्कोप है, जो बाकी राज्यों में, बाकी देशों में काफी डिफिकल्ट होता है पीआर अचीव करना। तो वो एक बहुत अच्छी बात है जो हमारे लिए जानने वाली बात है कि हम वहाँ रेसिडेंट बन सकते हैं। तीसरी बात और महत्वपूर्ण बात, कि वहाँ जितना हम काम करके जो हमारी आमदनी होगी, जो हमें सैलरी मिलेगी, उसमें आराम से हम 50 से 60 हजार रुपए बचा के हर महीने अपने घर, अपने रिश्तेदारों के लिए वापस भेज सकते हैं। तो ग्रोथ का भी काफी अच्छा स्कोप है, हमारी वहाँ पे रिक्वायरमेंट है, हमारे लिए वहाँ एक्सेप्टेंस है, और वहाँ पे हम फाइनेंशियली भी अच्छी सेविंग कर सकते हैं।
You have another 30 seconds. You have
No
just
problem.
30 seconds.
जनरली जो हमें क्वालिफिकेशन की वहाँ रिक्वायरमेंट होती है वो बीएससी नर्सिंग या जीएनएमओ या एएनएम कोर्स की होती है। तो मैं ये कहना चाहूंगा कि आप लोग नेशनल स्किल डेवलपमेंट कॉर्पोरेशन से कांटेक्ट करके जापानीज लैंग्वेज, और जो ये पंजाब सरकार ने इतना अच्छा कदम उठाया है उसके लैंग्वेज की रुचि डेवलप करें, और जापान में बहुत अच्छा स्कोप है, उसके तरफ हम आगे बढ़े। थैंक यू सो मच।
I was wondering if Christine is on the line. Christine, are you there? Christine?
Yes, I'm here.
So I was just wondering if you have some thoughts, and because we showed you the data, right? And you could see from the data that as far as Australia is concerned, right?
Yes.
When you compare it with, for instance, with Canada, you do find, I don't know if my screen is visible.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Oh,
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yes, I can see that.
Yeah, please, would you like to share your thoughts?
Okay. I suppose good afternoon, everyone, first, and welcome students. Australia is very much the destination to come to for health sector. We will be needing more healthcare workers, doubled by 2024. And I suppose one of the most interesting things about studying in India and then coming to Australia is the fact that, oh, excuse me, hold on a sec. Right. No, we don't need that there. So for studying in India at LAMRIN, what we do is mainly teach the trainers there, so therefore they understand the practical training involved in aged care and the reality training. So it's a matter of, you need to be practicing nearly every week for at least 6 months to be ready to be able to work on an aged care facility floor. So it's imperative that we have these students ready. So therefore, when they do get placement in Australia, and we guarantee our work placement for our students, that they are exceptional at that work placement, and that they actually do get offered employment and they keep that employment. So the program that we've devised is one that we will continue monitoring and mentoring them in the first 3 months of their employment. So therefore, we can be confident that they will continue being employed in that institution. And also too, there is a lot in regards to the pastoral care, meaning the mental health of them being in another country, being involved in the community, the resume and getting the job in the first place. There's many other areas that have to be factored into people studying to go into the health sector. We did have Susan Doherty, our marketing director, that was going to talk about guest education and what we do here and the other different courses that we have. This is running a little bit different to what we expected, but we also have Tonya here, Tonya Scadden, who can talk about the actual what would happen in a class. And about more of the actual skills that they would obtain. And then, of course, Lance Stone from Fraser Coast Test and Dawn would supply all the provider information of what is needed in the aged care sector or disability. So in Australia...
Kristen, just, if you could share your thoughts on what kind of demand do you see in Australia in the healthcare workforce sector? Let's say, next 3 years. What kind of demand do you see?
Well, at the moment, we've got 100% job placement because basically we have providers getting in touch with us wanting workers every day. So, and that's just the Gold Coast region. So there's the regional area. I mentioned it before. And then, of course, double by 2024 of what we have now.
So is it like you would have any number like the demand is 100,000 or demand is 50,000, demand is 200,000? Is there any such study, scientific study?
Yeah, 80,000, I believe.
80,000. Okay, good. I think, it was Christine. Thank you so much. Even during inaugural session, you shared some very interesting thoughts. I want to now invite Mr. Tay, who is Deputy Director, Health Services, IT Singapore. Mr. Tay, are you on the call?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yeah. And also, if you could share a little bit also about demand in Singapore, shortages, and kind of collaboration you see for creating healthcare workforce.
Thank you everyone for having me in this webinar, and happy Women's Day to all ladies and women out there. I'm happy to be here to give you a quick sharing, but it's interesting that I noticed when Prof asked students to indicate the country that they are interested to work in, I did not see Singapore so far as I keep on looking. Mainly it is in the Western country, which is Canada, Australia, UK. So that is something that I find interesting. Singapore is the nearest to India, and we have got a diversity of healthcare workers here, and we are currently already having nurses from India. So to put it in perspective, Singapore is projecting a demand for 91,000 healthcare workers in 2030, in which 28,000 are projected to be foreign healthcare workers, compared to 13,000 foreign healthcare workers. So we are expecting and seeing that we are going to have a lot of demand here in Singapore. In regards to training of healthcare workers, I see COVID has actually brought about a shift, a paradigm shift and a change in the landscape, the healthcare landscape. And I noticed that in the time of such emergency or national need, I feel that it boils down to two categories. One is licensed healthcare worker, one is trained healthcare support. So it depends on where you want to start. And I agree with our Australian colleagues that you cannot just be a nurse or a healthcare worker in 6 to 8 weeks and you expect to be a professional. It takes time to train and be skilled and possess the knowledge as well as the experience to deal with patient care. Here we are talking about dealing with human lives, you know. But another aspect is like what Japan is doing, means healthcare support. We give you the skills, we give you the basic knowledge so that you can function in supporting the trained healthcare professional. You notice that with the COVID, we even need someone to just look after patient, the basic needs, the hygiene needs, the nutritional needs. And many a times, a healthcare worker can be trained to do that. You need not be a trained nurse. So we are talking about division of labor, and we are talking about strategizing how our healthcare workforce will be like. So I'm looking at, instead of brain drain, yeah, we all agree that we don't see it as brain drain, but I will position it as brain transportability or brain transferability, where you can transfer. And Singapore is known for our training and for our healthcare as well as medical expertise. You can gain training here, or you can be having the training from Singapore, and then later on, you can actually go to work in countries like Australia, Canada. We have got many foreign workers coming here as a stepping stone as well to gain that experience. So there are many possibilities. But I think one of the things most important is that when you want to consider working overseas, I have been working overseas and I'm a trained nurse myself. For 35 years, I've worked in Middle East and in the Middle Eastern country. My advice is you have to look at the 3 A's. When you want to work in an overseas country, be it as a healthcare worker or other workers, adaptability, agility, as well as accustomability. One of the challenges that we have with foreign nurses or healthcare workers is to be accustomed to that country's custom. Singapore is a diverse country. We have got multi-racial, multi-religious country here. And it's easy to assimilate, and we have got a wide Indian community in Singapore as well. So I would encourage all of you to look at healthcare from a bright perspective, work hard, have a vision, have a goal, and you will be able to meet your dream and your goal one day. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I also wanted to request you, if you could just type out, there was a question for you. Some people want to know what is the demand for, let's say, physiotherapist in Singapore? What is the kind of demand for a dental professional? In case you have some insights, you may please type it out. I would like to now request if Paul is on the line, Russian Paul, Director, Education, Australian Trade and Investment Commission.
Yeah, that's me, Roshan Paul, and I'm with the Australian Trade and Investment Commission. Am I audible? Just to check.
You are audible. Yes. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, and I'd like to use this opportunity to let everybody know that similar to what Tony mentioned and Christian as well, that there are immense opportunities in the healthcare space, and I would also expand that to the allied health space in the global environment, and Australia is no different. But there are challenges in terms of what skills are recognized in the Australian context, how you can get registered as a healthcare professional there, which then allows you to, be eligible for sponsorship and a visa and things like that. So the process is slightly lengthy on those counts, but there is clarity available to candidates. So I would definitely recommend that all of you, there were questions regarding physiotherapists and dentists and things like that. It's not only nurses, there is a very well laid out process and documentation by which healthcare professionals can get themselves registered in the Australian context. And I would also like to emphasize specifically 2 or 3 roles where there is growing demand and which has been accentuated by the pandemic. So for the benefit of the larger audience, I would just mention this in Hindi as well. And the areas that I feel has immense potential, especially in terms of huge numbers, would be aged care. And I think it's also mentioned as a personal care worker in the Australian context, apart from, an aged care worker. And again, the preference is for nurses, but you find that often the English language requirements are not as stringent as you find for nurses. तो मेरी ये दरख्वास्त होगी प्यारे बच्चों से कि आप हेल्थ केयर में देखेंगे तो खाली डॉक्टर्स और नर्सेस की ही डिमांड नहीं है, डिमांड है एलाइड हेल्थ वर्कर्स, जो फर्स्ट रिस्पॉन्डर्स हैं, जो एज केयर वर्कर्स हैं, जो पैलिएटिव केयर में हैं, रिहैबिलिटेशन केयर में हैं. नहीं तो आप देख सकते हैं कि डेंटिस्ट, फिजियोथेरापिस्ट, फार्मासिस्ट, काफी पोटेंशियल है बहुत सारे कंट्रीज में, ऑस्ट्रेलिया में भी. एंड वेटनरी मेडिसिन में भी काफी अपॉर्चुनिटीज हैं. तो आपसे मैं ये दरख्वास्त करूंगा कि बहुत अच्छा इनिशिएटिव लिया है डॉक्टर संदीप सिंह, एंड I'd like to congratulate Dr. Sandeep Singh for putting this together, and Professor Chandan as well. This is a great initiative, and from the Australian Trade Commission's perspective, we are happy to put you in touch with institutions in Australia who can help you in the capacity creation and the capability creation in terms of, training of trainers, master trainers, putting together.
Yeah, Roshan, any thoughts on that? There are some questions to you that, any comments on demand in Australia for physiotherapists, or, any comments?
As I was saying, in terms of allied health, you look at the entire gamut of professions, from physiotherapy to, pharmacists to dental technicians. There is scope for everyone, but you will need to align yourself with what the regulatory body in Australia, notifies in terms of the entry requirements. And there are the peak bodies as well, which very clearly articulate that if you are a foreign healthcare professional, how can your
You are muted, Roshan. You are muted.
skills be recognized in the Australian environments and from Australian context? So that is very essential. And
all right,
that is
thank you, Roshan. Maybe I would move to, if Lance Thomas Stone is there, is the CEO of Fraser Coast, TSS Australia. Is Lance there on the line?
Yes, I'm here, Professor. I'm here.
Yeah, please.
Good evening. I'll try and be as brief as I can. I know there's a lot of people who'd like to speak, and I will like to introduce a industry leader in the aged care sector after I finish my short conversation. I think when we look at Australia, it's a land of opportunity for people to come here and make a life for themselves, work in a growth industry in our health and community sector. Christine mentioned the number in the 80,000s, and when you look at the broader sector of allied health, age, disability, the numbers are well over the 100,000 mark for skill shortage areas throughout Australia. In Australia, we enjoy a multicultural society. We have a very big population of Indian communities throughout regional and most of the city areas of Australia. They have been welcomed here for centuries and are very much a part of the fabric of our life. So when people come to live in Australia and to start their career here, they certainly would not be as isolated as they could be in some other countries. I think also when I look at the other opportunities, some countries will not allow you to buy a home and to make a life for yourself. There's great education and great housing prospects for people to have a wonderful life in Australia. The supply chain for me is very critical. I believe that face-to-face education is probably the strongest way to deliver high-value knowledge to students. We would do that in country with our only trained specialist providers who are accredited to deliver our training. Our training is nationally recognised. You can travel the world, you can go to Europe, England, America, and have our skills recognised as a competency that is equivalent to what they have as base level requirements. So there's, to me, the supply chain is let's train your local people in the comfort of their own country, in their own community, until they're skilled up, whilst they're arranging their pre-approved visas to come and work in Australia. And then when we get them over here into our classrooms, we'll provide them with some of the practical aspects of delivery, which are essential, how to handle and care for patients, use equipment professionally. Then we would place them into industry for work experience or work placement, and they would, if they're suitable, they would certainly gain employment in that sector. Look, I'll say thank you now, Professor, for that. I'd like to introduce Dawn Rodenis. Dawn is a General Manager of Signature Care, which is one of our peak aged care providers in Australia. And if Dawn's available, she could talk directly to you about the high employment and skills need that's available. So I suggest that if Dawn's available, that someone would allow her to speak, please. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was very interesting. And if you also type in some of your thoughts, insights into the chat box, then people can actually see that. But thank you for, it's good to have people like you around. I think together, we can definitely collaborate to create a healthcare ecosystem which can serve the world better. Thank you for being.
Thank you.
I wanted to now invite Susan. If Susan is there on the line, Director, Marketing and Recruitment, GESS Education, Australia. And I know her colleague, Tonia. If Tonia is also there, maybe two of them can share some brief insights.
Yes, thank you very much, and good evening, everybody. Yes, I'm Susan Doherty, and I look after the marketing and recruitment here for GESS Education. There is a very exciting time here in Australia at the moment, especially for all of the jobs that are available. We were talking about aged care, home and community care earlier in the day, and and the opportunities are just so fantastic here. The course support is also very wonderful as well. And I'm sorry, I'm just having a little bit of trouble there. I'm hoping that everybody can see my screen. With this particular sector, we are very fortunate, and as Christine said earlier, the outcomes of our students, our last graduation group, we actually achieved 100% success rate in placing all of our graduates into jobs in the area. I've got a couple of little facts here on the screen for you. The minimum rate of pay at the moment for the area is $21.62. But that is the very base rate. A lot of our students are on about $38 an hour, our graduates, and that doesn't include penalty rates for the weekends. So great opportunities there. By 2024, we are expecting that the numbers of people in the industry will actually double. Australia doesn't have the population to support that amount of graduates going into the industry. And we definitely want to take care of our elderly. So we really, really would welcome your help in assisting us with the outcomes for that. Now, we do offer certificate programs for those programs, but we also have very strong pathways going into diploma programs and then onto university programs as well. So we have some fantastic pathways already set up for our students. I go through those, and there's a lot of courses that we offer here, but here's an example for you. So we're looking at Certificate 3 in individual support. Students can then go on to practice management or community services at diploma level, and then on to university. Now, with these particular programs, the diploma and certificate courses are very practical programs. We have prac rooms.
Susan, if I may request you, because we want students to be involved. What they are asking, what student want is, this is a program you are offering there. The virtual roundtable is around that part, and how you can set up the infrastructure in Punjab, right? So that they may be skilled here. Because one is your program, that is okay. But what we are looking for is that how they can be trained here in the country of region, so that then they can go to the, and for a country like Australia, they can go and, so most of the students, if you see in chat box, they want to ask mainly, how can we go there to Australia by getting training in Punjab or in India?
So
that's the point,
Very excited looking at delivering the programs in India. With that particular area, our trainers will actually be coming to the institution in India, delivering the training in India, getting them job ready and also to Australian standards, which is very, very important, and then giving them the opportunity to come to Australia to fill those positions that are needed. With that in mind, the standards that we have, you must have those minimum qualifications to enter into the industry.
Sure. I think that will be really good, sir. We have Ramanjeet Kaur. I think I can see the hand raised if you want to
please
ask
go
question,
ahead,
because we will pick up some question from the audience. So Ramanjeet, can you unmute? Susan, you be there. There may be a question, because there are a lot of questions for Australia, and if you can put some information in the chat box, it will be good. So I would request my students ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਕਹਿਣਾ, ਤੁਸੀਂ please raise your hand, ਜੋ question ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੇ hand raise ਕਰੋ. I'm going to invite you. We have a couple of other speakers also, but in between we will have some questions. So I can ask Ramandeep. I could see Ramandeep first. Ramandeep, you can unmute, and Ramandeep Kaur. Ramandeep Kaur can hear me? Kulvinder Singh? Kulvinder Singh, you unmute. ਤੁਸੀਂ unmute ਕਰ ਪਾ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ? And then if you are not able to unmute, kindly put it in the chat box. Then we'll get you unmuted. किसी को कोई problem आ रही है, please put it in your unmute आप करके. Kulvinder Singh, Sumandeep Kaur. Sumandeep Kaur want to say something? Sir, I think they are not able to unmute. Susan, can you remove your screen share? We will do that, no problem. Should I remove? Yeah, I can see.
Hello sir, hello
Yeah.
ma'am, good afternoon ma'am.
Yeah, आप अपनी introduction दीजिए.
Can I
Suman.
audible? Can I
Yeah,
audible?
audible, Suman.
Sir, I am a nursing staff. I have done my BSc nursing and I have a 9-year experience as a ICU or as a ICN. Now I am doing respiratory therapist training from AIMS Hospital, Bathinda.
Okay.
I am asking question from you. I have any placement in Australia, Canada?
Yeah. So, Suman, I think the AIMS course I have written in the chat box also. It is very pertinent course. So now,
Yes,
since you have completed your course, Sumandeep, आपने complete कर लिया course?
Sir, 20th March को complete हो जाएगा.
बस उसी के बाद हम आपकी टीम के साथ बैठ के we will also talk to हम employers के साथ बात करके तो आपके जो CVs हैं, this is the main focus area कि आप how can you acquire skills here and you can so which country you want to go, Suman? Australia,
Sir,
you want to go?
Canada, sir, Canada.
Canada, then you will have to come to session at 8 PM में भी आप आइए वहाँ पे Canada से ही employers and वो होंगे तो you can ask the question there also, right?
Okay, sir.
तो अभी ऑस्ट्रेलिया से वगैरह है बाकी कंट्रीज आपने करना होगा तो आप प्लीज उस सेशन में जरूर आ जाइए, ठीक है?
जी सर,
तो
थैंक यू सो मच सर.
या यू बी देयर एंड कुछ BDS के बारे में भी कोई बच्चे बात कर रहे हैं. वी आर नाउ गोइंग टू टेक क्वेश्चंस, प्लीज बी विद अस. बच्चे आप साथ साथ रहो, हम साथ साथ क्वेश्चन लेते रहेंगे. एंड आई कुड सी जशनदीप कौर. जशनदीप कौर,
गुड आफ्टरनून सर.
जी जशनदीप, क्विकली आपका क्वेश्चन, आप इंट्रोडक्शन दे दो और अपना क्वेश्चन पूछिए.
सर मेरा नाम जशनदीप है और सर मैं राइट नाउ GNM नर्सिंग कर रही हूँ फ्रॉम पटियाला. ओके सर, मुझे ऑस्ट्रेलिया के लिए अप्लाई करना है आफ्टर GNM. सो विच स्टडी बेटर है मेरे लिए टू मिलके एक नर्स बनने के लिए ऑस्ट्रेलिया में?
ओके सो वैसे जो क्वेश्चन हम प्रोग्राम ये करने जा रहे हैं कि जो GNM बच्चे करेंगे उनको ऑस्ट्रेलिया जाके करने की जरूरत नहीं है. प्रोग्राम यहीं शुरू हो रहे हैं. आपका जो भी GNM कोर्स करने के बाद एक 8 से 9 महीने का कोई ब्रिजिंग प्रोग्राम यहाँ कराया जाए एंड सो दैट आप एल्डरली हेल्थ केयर में ऑस्ट्रेलिया, UK, जर्मनी जा सकते हो. एंड दोज प्रोग्राम विल बी स्टार्टेड वेरी सून. अभी शुरू हो जाएंगे. यू जस्ट गेट इन टच, आपको इन्फॉर्मेशन आ जाएगी. तो आपको अब आगे क्या होता था ना, आपको बाहर जाके कोर्स करना पड़ेगा. यू डोंट नीड इट नाउ, यू कैन डू इट इन पंजाब इटसेल्फ. तो ये कोर्सेज जल्दी शुरू हो जाएंगे, मे बी इन बाय अप्रैल और मई, राइट? सो वो आपको बता दिए जाएंगे, ठीक है? आपको इन्फॉर्मेशन आ जाएगी, ठीक है? Yeah, you be there and sir, we have many question hand raise are there. So I think in the meanwhile we can also listen to one speaker, Mr. Philip. Dr. Sir, what do you say? Philip?
Yeah. Let's go ahead.
Mr. Philip Fung is there from
Philip.
NIT. Yeah. Philip, are you there? Philip, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Good evening.
Yeah, Philip, because since you are from Australia, I mean, there are many questions coming in the chat box. We have students who are already skilled by All India Institute of Medical Science. We have students who are qualified nurses in India. How can they go to Australia by doing some program in India? Abhi focus on that. Philip, I think that will be good because students are asking these questions.
Thank you. Dr. Sandeep, and good evening, everyone. What I would like to focus for my
Philip, your voice is breaking. We are unable to hear you. Your voice, there's some issue in your voice. Philip?
Let me stop the video. Would that help?
Yeah. You can stop the video and just focus on this one.
Okay. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Thank you. What I would like to say is I have my colleague, Dr. Richard Bowen, with me tonight, and we are very experienced to customize our program and to make the whole TNE transnational education programs are working well. So what we can do is we will design the competency-based learning model to put the theory part that could deliver in India, offshore in India. We can also train the trainer and making sure our partners from the university will be able to put the theory part for the student to work to suit the industry. And for the placement opportunity, we can work with our provider like my colleague from other institutions already speaking about. There is a lot of the demand for our provider to provide the placement opportunity. And Dr. Bowen already put the important information on the chat box to talk about in Australia. The healthcare industry and the social assistance is the Australia's largest employment sector, and the demand will grow significantly. And we need additional 250,000 jobs to be meet the demand for these services by 2025. So the job placement and the demand for the student to work in the industry will be there. And we are here to work with our partner university to customize a training program.
Fantastic, Philip. I think that will be really good to tie up here and set up some infrastructure here back in India. I think that will be good. And there is one question coming from Bent Kaur Chahal that I'm a student of post-basic BSc nursing and how these courses. So Bent, the point here is you will be undergoing some part of the program here in India, here in Punjab itself. जैसे मैंने बोला है for GNM, for GDA courses. कुछ पार्ट हमें यहाँ करना पड़ेगा and that part earlier जाना हो तो you have to go to Australia, but now you can do it by being in Punjab itself. Get your skill here, get your certification here, and then you can go to Australia by getting a job. So that is what Philip now said, that they'll be tying up with certain institution here, or they will set up a kind of infrastructure. That is what Susan also said, and that is what we expect from Mr. Roshan Paul from Australian Trade Commission also to support us. Similar is an initiative for Singapore and for other countries too. So I would now, there is one more question, student. So one person, I'm taking a call from Surinder Oza. Surinder, please unmute yourself and please ask the question. Surinder. Surinder, you can unmute. If you are facing any problem in unmuting, please put it in the chat box. Then we have Rahul Bagla. Is there Rahul Bagla? You want to say something? Rahul Bagla, आपका कोई question है, you may ask it. I think if you are, yeah, you are not able to unmute. Dr. Saab, they are not able to unmute the people who are raising hand. We may ask.
Yeah, participants can only actually type in questions.
Sorry? So they won't be able to...
They can unmute. Actually, they can unmute. You saw earlier the person unmuted.
Yeah, Surinder.
Hello.
Yeah, Surinder. Yeah, Surinder. Rahul, आप introduce करिए.
जी sir. Yes. I'm Surinder this side. Good afternoon.
Surinder, just hold for a while. Rahul ने शुरू किया है. एक just hold रखिए. Rahul बोलिए quickly. Rahul quickly जल्दी.
Yes sir. Good afternoon sir. I am a student. Sir, my question is regarding pharmacy field. That I am doing my B Pharm second year. But my question is, what is the requirement that I need to fulfill if I want to get job as a pharmacist in the Australia?
Question is there. I'll go to the concerned person. हम सुरेंद्र का भी ले लेते हैं. सुरेंद्र, आप भी अपना आंसर बोलिए. Question पूछिए.
Good afternoon, sir. Myself is Surinder Oza. Actually, my daughter has completed BSc nursing from CMC Ludhiana, and still she is working there. She has completed 2 years now. Third year is going on. Is there any scope for her in Australia?
Actually, yeah. So what we do is Now let me ask this question. Australia, Paul, are you there from Australian Trade Commission? Paul, are you there? Mr. Paul from Australian High Commission, Trade Commission. Ashish. Roshan Paul. Roshan Paul, are you there? So, or I can ask, if Roshan is not there, we may request Philip.
Hello. 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 Hello.
Kindly please mute yourself.
Yeah, I'm yeah. Yeah, Mr. Philip.
हो गया इसको कर दो डॉक्टर संदीप को कहाँ है लोडू ओके लिखो
I'm referring this Surinder Oza and Rahul Bagla question. If there is a students who have done BSc nursing and they want to do a job, they want to go to Australia, how can they go there? Philip, please put it in the Philip and Tony, please fill it in the chat box because I think there's some disturbance. Rahul and Surinder, you can see in the chat box, they are typing. The speakers are typing. I think there was some kind of trouble there. So I would request Philip and other members from Australia to just type the answer in the question. Question is that BSc nursing and the students who have done some programs, skill programs or GNM programs in India, how they can get a job there in Australia. So please type your, they are typing. So they are typing. I think thank you
for the chat.
Point.
They
are typing in the chat box. So what about the pharmacist also? There is also one question coming. How they can get pharmacist job in Australia? That is also one point. So Professor Chandan Chaudhary, are you there? Chaudhary Sahab, are you there? Professor Chandan, are you there? Yeah, I think Chandan Sahab would be joining. So I would now, anybody, so I have taken the call. Anybody else want to say anything? Please raise your hands. Jogesh Sharma ji, haan ji, Pathankot se, yeah, please unmute yourself. I think if you are not able to unmute, I think there's a lot of disturbance. Some people are not muting themselves. That's why, yeah, now you can do it.
I'm audible now?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yes.
Okay. Sir, see, I'm actually center head of a skill center over here. We have recently done COVID frontline worker course, and we have trained over 140 students for basic care support course, and they are under on-job training in Civil Hospital Pathankot at the moment. So they are like currently doing several things in COVID. They are collecting samples. They are delivering kits and also checking the COVID patients. So as a skill center, we want to know what opportunities is there that we can, we have fully equipped labs, we have every facility. How we can, get students to get trained directly for, jobs overseas. So we can develop such facilities and such training facilities over here with the help of government and also with the, institutes who are settled there in Australia. So we can, what kind of procedure we can follow to get ourselves equipped to, train students and then they employed directly to.
Got it, Jogesh, got it. This question is to all the panelists, if they can type. Actually, we have some skill centers in India, which are under Ministry of Skill Development. And due to this COVID-19, there were some short-term programs started by Ministry of Skill Development in India. So they were on the frontline health workers or on the GDA support or elderly cares, on the ventilators. So many such programs were started. So Jogesh Sharma question is that if a student has a certification from Ministry of Skill Development under National Skill Development and also from National Skill Development Corporation, how can they get job there? What kind of program they require? So they are not GNM, ANM or nursing student, but they have a short-term program. How they can be part of this initiative of going for overseas. So I would request, Sharmaji, this question you want to say, na? I have redefined your question,
right,
and
sir, right,
I
sir.
will
Ji,
request
right.
all the panelists to please answer these questions in the chat box. I think that will be good to support the questions are there. Yeah. So yeah. So I think now we are all good to go. There are many questions coming. Chat box, the speakers are writing your answers. So what we can do is now, I think we would ask the anchors to, Dr. Saab, how do you say? I think now we have got a lot of questions in the chat box, and I think time is there. We should wind it up now. Already
Right, because we have the next session. We have the
Dr. Saab, any quick last comment, Dr. Saab, from your side, so that then
I just wanted to say that I think I see great opportunities for collaboration. And one of the things which is missing today, Dr. Sandeep, you and me have been discussing about it, that there is a lack of data. What is the demand, right? How can you get healthcare workforce? How do you do it in India for serving the country of destination? How can we partner? How India can partner with Japan, with Singapore, with Australia, with Canada? How do you partner such that country of destination collaborates, makes investment, creates healthcare workforce, and it is leveraged for serving the global healthcare? I think it is very important that we also do some research to figure out those actual numbers, and we'll be very happy to collaborate if any of the organizations are wanting to do a joint collaboration in research, such that we come out with some data-driven insights. We'll be very happy. Thank you, everybody, for joining this call. Over to you, Sandeep.
Yeah. So, over to now the boardroom. Boardroom, you can take it forward.
Now it is a humble request. Now it is a humble request for all of you to turn on your cameras for the group photograph. Again, it is a humble request for all of you to turn on your cameras for the group picture. Again, please turn on your cameras for the group photograph.
हेलो सारे अपने अपने कैमरास ऑन कर लो बच्चे जो कर सकते हैं अपने कैमरास ऑन करो एक ग्रुप फोटो फॉर अ मिनट देन वी विल आप फिर सेशन को खत्म करने लगे हैं कैमरास ऑन कर लो एक बार
Speakers, I request if you please switch on your camera.
Some of them are not able to do it. जो नहीं कर पा रहे it's okay. जो कर पा रहे हैं वो कर लें बस. Yes. Boardroom, I think all of them have done it. Boardroom, जल्दी करिए आप.
Yes, sir, we're still clicking.
Is done?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Saab.
Thank
you.
Thank
Yeah.
everybody.
Stay safe.
And yeah, thank you for all the speakers.
Thank you.
Thank you all the students, faculty for such a nice session. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Recording stopped.
हमारा फोटो आ रहा है। ये कहाँ से आ गया?